to us years and years ago saying, why is there not data that everyone shares? Like, this is not how is this not a thing? And here we are, and she's helped us realize that dream. So thank you, Amanda.
So I'm Amanda Haddock. I've talked a bunch, so most of you have probably heard my voice already by now. But we started Dragon Master Initiative right after my son passed away from what they were calling at the time glioblastoma, but now would probably be DMG, which just really goes to point out how much we've learned since he passed away in 2012. And I think it's really a credit to the very passionate people in this room. So I really have to start out by thanking all of you for just leaning in, especially over these last couple of days. It's really clear to me that there's a lot of passion in the room, and I appreciate the way that you all bring your unique experiences to this work. I know that each of you have a very personal reason for doing this, and for me, it's honoring my son and what he wanted us to do and what he had asked us to do. So in a very real way, this is fulfilling his wishes, and I really appreciate that from all of you. So I thought I was following Ken, like on the heels of Ken. So this is not to ignore the wonderful presentation that Brian just gave, but it mentions Ken a little bit. So it's very fitting that we did hear from Ken, because 2 years ago, we were in this meeting at CHOP with Ash and Ken and this wonderful team of people who I felt like kind of for the first time dug deep on, because we had been in Amazon's cloud for a while, right? CBTN has been using Amazon's cloud for a long time. And it was like we couldn't get anybody to pay attention to this amazing work that was going on. And they finally did. And so from those meetings and discussions, we've made just so much progress over the last couple of years. And that circle of support has just expanded to people like Josh and Brazita and Steve, and just so many Amazonians that I honestly can't name them all, but we're going to try, maybe not right now. I think we're going to do something tomorrow to get into a little bit more detail. But suffice it to say that we're very grateful for AWS for directing their attention and their resources to help not just these kids, right, but really to help improve healthcare research overall, because I think that's where we're heading with all of these tools. And everyone in this room has really played a role in getting us to today. The corporate partners with their solutions and looking at those in a new way and helping to put them to use on behalf of children with brain tumors, large government agencies like the NIH and the NCI and now ARPA-H, so thankfully, who've brought their areas of expertise together, right? They're really looking at new ways to work together to innovate and serve patients in ways that they've never really done before. The nonprofits and families that are in this room have provided funding that has made sure that the voice of the patient was present, a really central component for all of this. And of course, the research and healthcare professionals that have dedicated their long hours to build systems, develop solutions, and care for today's patients in ways that not only are going to serve those patients, but really build out better solutions for all patients to come. And so over these last couple of days, we've gathered a lot of inspiration, and we can harness that energy, hopefully, to fuel some groundbreaking discoveries. And this group has assembled around a problem that the rest of the world has really viewed as nearly impossible. I mean, you've all heard families stand up here and say that they were sent home with no hope, right? Go home, make memories. We've all heard that. That's not a thing, I think, that people in this room are saying anymore. There's still clinicians out there saying it, but they're not in this room. And in this room, I really feel like we've got a lot of visionaries. And I'm a pretty big fan of another visionary, Walt Disney. And he was quoted as saying, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And I think that's what we're doing, right? People thought this was not something we could do. And I'm really sure that we are going to do that. So as we leave, and some are leaving today and some are leaving tomorrow, but I just want everyone to go back to their workplace with that kind of vision to see the possibilities and not the problems. And so in the spirit of that, we wanted to give out an award today. We hope to present this award annually to a person who really exemplifies the spirit of the Children's Brain Tumor Network. It's sponsored by Dragon Master Initiative, and we were inspired to start it in honor of Jean Slaughter Matzuk, who just happens to be Jenna Lily's mom. Jean was a very staunch supporter of CBTN, and even through her own cancer battle, she never wavered in her dedication to research for children. Which, can I just say, like, that's a tough thing, right? If you're an adult with cancer, to not focus on like trying to do research for yourself, but to still, and I've met a few other adults like that as well, but it's rare, to put that level of selflessness out into the world is a really special thing. A friend described Jean as a beautiful spirit who shined brightly on everyone that she met. And indeed, her nickname was Sunny. So we're going to call this award the Sunny Award. And it's to remind us that her legacy of support will continue to shine brightly. Now, for who is going to get the award? Okay, so this award is given to a person who embraces innovation, fosters collaborations outside of their institution, and puts patients first, which is what we see as the true spirit of CBTN. And I want to pause here and say that to us, this award could go to literally anybody in this room, right? It's not for a doctor or, a bench scientist, or what did you call yourself earlier? A basic scientist? I was like, is there anything basic about Java? I don't think so. But like, it could be support staff. It's really more about like the spirit of how you do what you do than what your job title is. So this year's awardee embodies all of those things and really just so much more. He's always an active participant in these meetings, and he's always looking for ways to improve processes and volunteering to work on projects that would just benefit everyone. And I know that his colleagues hold him in the highest esteem, but so do the families that he's worked with. And so I have a story from a patient family that kind of sums it all up nicely. They always felt that he was an advocate for them as their child went through treatment, and he really took the time to get to know them and their daughter, Emily. Emily had always looked forward to getting her port out and keeping it, but unfortunately, she passed away. And right after Emily died, her mom had a panicked moment because she remembered that, and she was like, oh my gosh, we didn't get Emily's port out. So she wanted to see if they could still save the port. So she called him, and he not only arranged to get that port for them, but he also went out and bought a pair of Crocs, which is Emily's favorite shoes, just so that he could get a Crocs bag so that he could make the delivery in a Crocs bag. He also put the port into a little butterfly container that Child Life had found, and he added her last courage bead and then took it to their home so that they wouldn't have to go back to the hospital so closely after she had passed just to pick that up. I think we can all agree that that shows a great deal of empathy and compassion. And I am so beyond proud to be able to recognize Jeff Stevens, who obviously recognized this story was about him long before everyone else did.
This is a beautiful award, and I'm so honored. Vic, I just want to thank everybody who's supported these efforts for these families. Emily was so special to me, and I know we all have those in our lives. So thank you all for your hard work in supporting these efforts. I'm just so delighted to work with all of you, and I hope to do so into the future. Thank you.
Okay, so just a reminder that we really hope that throughout the year, people will reach out with nominees for this award. We just kind of chose who we thought was best this year, but now that you know about it, please do feel free to reach out and put some nominees forward. And in closing, I just wanted to urge all of you to just really carry forth the inspiration from this meeting with you as you go back to your institutions and really fuel that flame of innovation and collaboration as we strive for research breakthroughs that can transform the landscape of brain cancer treatment. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of countless children and families.
Brian wants to tell you, thank you all for coming here. It was a great interactive session. Thank you, AWS, and the operations people. Of course, you guys did great. Thank you, families who supported this event, and the CBTN, everyone. This was great. I suggest to have the next one here in Washington, D.C. as well, right?
That'd be great. Yeah. And our sponsors, thank you so much. We've listed them many times, and Yeah, it was amazing how this all came together, quite honestly. You know, we came here and did a site tour. When was that? April or something like that. And Ash and your team have just really come together and made this a wonderful experience. And so, you know, thank you so much for everything that was done by so many people behind the scenes that made this such a special event. And thank you all for attending, and we look forward to next year.